But the thing that I've always done in my fitness, and I've actually transitioned it to like my content creation, is just finding like something sustainable. Like if you go with the whole Alex Becker idea of like, let me wake up at 3:30 in the morning, work out for a little while, go do jujitsu at night. Like if I try to do that, it would last 2 weeks, and I would just my body would fall apart, or I just wouldn't be able to do it because it's not sustainable.
How did you get into fitness? That came before crypto, right? Before Web3, before Illuvium.
Yeah. I mean, that was just basically what I grew up with. Like I grew up being like an athlete, played a lot of soccer. In the high school, I did track and field, and I was pretty good. I was like captains of the soccer team and track and field team, going to like states and stuff like that. And then actually, really, I mean, I guess we're kind of just getting into things now, right?
Yeah. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. We got Night Jeff right here. Nick, he is a big content creator in Illuvium and also has his own podcast. And he's also working with or for Illuvium, I should say, by now. So you're branched out into a lot of interesting topics. But now we're to the basics, to the origin story. Where did it all come from? So fitness, you said it started.
Yeah. I don't want to bore anyone too much, but like, yeah, the whole story of like coming up as fitness, it actually kind of flows into the content creation I'm doing now over a very long period of time, probably like a 15-year period. But yeah, I guess what I was just saying is like in high school or growing up my whole life and then into high school, like I was an athlete. And then I get to a point where I kept getting hurt. Like I kept straining my hamstrings, pulling muscles, nothing major. But then I worked with my athletic trainer at the time. And I'm not sure, in other countries, they call them something different. So maybe a physio or something like that. Whoever's like the person who like does like the works with injuries and stuff within sports.
Yeah, physiotherapist, I think.
Yeah. A lot of countries call them that. So then I took an interest in that. So then when I went into college, that's what I went for. I still did track and field in college, and I was studying to be an athletic trainer. And then after that, I went into, working in the college setting. So I went to a couple like Division I colleges where like some of those athletes are like going pro, going to the NFL, going to the NBA and all that. So I was working with those athletes. And I love the job because I was into, fitness myself, health, injury management, all of that. But yeah, I mean, that's what I did for a long time. So up until I got like laid off from my job when COVID hit, because colleges were just shutting down, and where I was at the time didn't have the money to pay somebody to sit around and do nothing. So yeah, so that was between like 2010 and 2020. So I was like 10 years of doing that.
Oh, wow. And so you got more into like the physiotherapist side of things because you got injured a lot?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got into college and I was just like, again, athletic trainer is what we called them here. So my athletic trainer helped me out a lot, staying healthy and, playing sports and performing the best I could. So I was like, all right, so that's what I want to do. I want to help other people that way. Mm-hmm. The only downside to that I didn't know at the time is that it didn't pay very well. Like it was just like, it was like an okay job. Like if you went to college, and I actually got my bachelor's and my master's degree. So somebody for a master's degree, I was like, I eventually learned like, this isn't paying well enough for somebody with a master's degree.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Is it also a reason that it's called athletic trainer? Maybe that's a little bit different to physiotherapists here, because here you get injured, then you go for them for some sessions and then you never see them again. Whereas athletic trainer sounds more something that works constantly, also with your small injuries and with maybe injury preventing and all that stuff. Like it's more an ongoing coaching thing, training thing.
Yeah, so there are like I've talked to people from different countries, and there's not really a direct one-to-one. Or there are some countries that call it an athletic therapist. Mm-hmm. But then there's also, here we have physical therapists, and that's the idea of like, if you really get hurt, you might go see a doctor. They'll send you to the physical therapist, and they'll work with you for a few weeks, and then you're done.
Like
I would
rehab.
be the person where, like, if you went to college and you were an athlete, like on a day-to-day basis, I'm the person who's there. Maybe I'm like taping your ankles to make sure you don't roll your ankle. Or if you watch professional sports, they're actually bringing up athletic trainers a lot more, like in the NFL. Somebody gets hurt, the people who run out to them, it's usually the team doctor and like 5 athletic trainers. And so that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
I was like the on-site person.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That's very different to physiotherapist. It's more, our physiotherapists sound like your physiotherapist, which is really about rehab after injury and operations and stuff like this. I can really relate with this.
A lot of overlap there. Yeah.
I can really relate with too many injuries. Let me look for something else that's similar, because my favorite sports were growing up skateboarding, snowboarding. Now surfing has become one of them. And skateboarding, like, I always got really gates kept by not being able to progress because I was scared too much of falling, breaking my bones, and so on. And like, it's very impact heavy, and that's why I kind of liked surfing or love surfing now, because I'm not scared of falling. It's water. Worst case is drowning, but you don't really think about that. So you just think about, I'm not going to break anything if I fall down this way. So, Worst case is drowning.
I never got into the skateboarding. And even though I live like basically right on the ocean, I never did surfing either. What I did do was like BMX, like.
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of that.
Yeah. So I still to this day have never bought like a full size adult bike. I just ride my little BMX bike everywhere.
That's so sick.
I'll still hit like the little jumps. Like there's a place where I drive by like with my daughter, and there's like a little skate park there. So I'll go and I'll hit the little jumps, get a couple feet off the air, off the ground, just to have some fun with it. But I did some of that, and I had buddies who were big into skateboarding.
Yeah, it often overlaps, but usually you start either one of them, and then you kind of put in the blood, sweat, and tears, and then you cannot transition out of it anymore. Like,
oh yeah, no, I was the person that like I couldn't stand on a skateboard more than just like going straight. I don't know how people grind on the rails. And, no, that wasn't for me. I'd rather have a bike where I could pick it up with the handlebars and
push through a lot of injury, push through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Basically, it's really tough learning curve for all of those. I think extreme sports, maybe you want to call them.
Yeah, I think that's what they're
or action sports.
Coined.
Yeah.
A lot. I just played like basketball in school, like a little bit, basically.
Nice.
Then I guess like that ended when I injured myself. So I guess there's that. That's like the only time I actually had a relevant injury, where I think on this I was like middle finger here. The little bone part that connects the tendon to the last like part of the finger was like broken off. So I don't know, that happened, took like 2 months or whatever to heal. And even now it's like not perfect. So I'm like, I don't even want to try like playing, because I think it's like pretty easy to fuck the finger up again.
Yeah.
So,
is that like
really annoying?
When the tip of the finger kind of like gets stuck like that? I think they call it like mallet finger.
Yeah, I can't like straighten it. Even now I can't like fully straighten it. Like they did kind of a shitty job at the hospital.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing I saw all the time. I saw all the time when I was working in college athletics for like basketball and football, like jammed fingers. I'd be the person who's gonna like pull it out if it was like twisted the wrong way. The shoulders all popped out, and it's like, I gotta get it back in place.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
Damn. That's rough.
Yeah.
I really like playing basketball, though. I would really like to play some again, but I don't think I could like play seriously, because I'd actually be.
How tall are you? You look like a pretty big guy.
6'3", an American unit.
Yeah.
Oh wow. How tall are you?
I'm about 6'2", 6'3", somewhere in the middle there. I feel like
damn, you're giants. I'm 6, I think. It's like I'm looking up already.
You're small.
I mean, that's pretty good too. You're over the average.
182 centimeters. That's like 6, right?
Yeah.
182.
Yeah, something like that.
All right.
Yeah, I forget. The U.S. is the only country that we talk in feet.
Yeah.
I only know my own height or so, because people ask me that.
Yeah.
It's about all I know on that.
my like history of being like doing like track and field for the longest time. That's like the one thing in the United States where they do everything, like they measure it like in the metric system or whatever. So I remember I was a big high jumper. That was the best event I had. So like my highest jump ever was 1.92, I think it was. So I think that was like around
That's
six,
like 6'2" on the top end, 6'3".
6'3" something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only thing I know. I used to know that like I jumped over about how tall I was, and so that's all I know. I couldn't tell you
that's pretty crazy.
Any other range there.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that was like my big thing in high school. I have like, well, high school and college. I have like some high school records that are still there. Believe it or not, like I think that
nice.
The generation over the past like 10 years, I think they're just turning into these iPad kids that don't want to push themselves further anymore. So like
it's true. That's true.
I was actually shocked that like I went back to my old high school to watch like one of those like a theater play with my daughter like last winter, and I looked at the record board and some of mine are gone, but the high jump record was still there, and I was just like,
nice.
Wow, that was like 15 years ago. Nobody can beat it.
Damn.
Like they're not trying hard anymore.
Yeah, or it looks like you could have had a big career there. Nobody can beat it in 15 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I was good, but I wasn't that good. It was good to be like winning in your high school and being like maybe one of the top, for me, high jumpers in my high school league. But you get into college, you get humbled a little bit, and you're just like, all right, I'm good, but I'm not that good. There wasn't a future of that. Unless you're jumping 8 feet and going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Not much else you can do with a track and field.
The future is like, it's very hard to make sports your like being an athlete your job. This is such a tiny chance for a few people. Same like gamers see pro gamers and want to be a pro gamer. Like you have more chance in anything else than this, whatever you want to try, and or being the biggest streamer and stuff like this. It's always when we compare ourselves to the top league that this takes talent and also dedication and hard work, like nonstop. And some people.
You could argue that being like a pro gamer is more difficult than being like a pro athlete, because like there are some body types that just get thrown out, like that have no chance to be like, look at like the NBA or something like that. If you're 5'2", 100 pounds, granted, there's probably been a couple over the history, but like you really have no chance at the NBA. But you can be any body type, any height, any gender, and you could do well in gaming. So there's a bigger pool that you're competing against.
I think it's like to some extent like on the body idea, yes, but I mean, it's essentially still like a mental sport, right? So your IQ you're more or less born with your IQ. You can't like do a whole lot about that. That is pretty relevant. And then like if you dive into psychology and things like that, right, then there's a lot of just like this is like your personality type, or this is what you lean towards. Like how likely and are you to be more, I don't know, like compromise seeking, more conflict seeking? Do you prefer to just be told what to do and you just follow somebody? Are you the one that wants to call the shots and be like, I don't know, deciding your own destiny, I guess, in that sense, and so on. So I think there's on this like mental side, there's a lot of setup that at least makes it easier for people to succeed. Like you said, like obviously there's going to be we can find some examples of people that don't have like super high IQ or like out of the ordinary kind of things, or maybe don't have preferential like personality traits or anything like that, and they still went successful, right? But I think for the majority of people, like there's a lot of this like predetermined thing, and I think we see that like play out. Like most of the people who are successful are relatively similar in how they think, how they act, how they behave, and so on. Like, yes, there are outliners and such, but it's, I don't know, from my, I guess like from my experience, right? Obviously, I haven't met like the crazy successful league players and whatever, right? But yeah I can certainly say that.
About IQ, I don't think you're born like with 100% and you can change anything. I'm not sure if you were going to say that.
Apparently, they say that like your IQ is just your IQ, no matter what
Okay.
you
You can
learn. Like
change
it's
it,
just
yeah.
like your natural number. I'm not sure I'm on board with that because you
I
can
was
definitely learn and
quickly.
get
I found
smarter. You know?
something good on Reddit. Let me know if this resonates. IQ is not one thing. Think of IQ as how much liquid you can hold. Nature determines the size of your bucket, and nature determines how much the bucket is filled and emptied. So basically, it's just your capabilities of taking in information.
Yes, it's basically how quickly can you learn new stuff, and that is insanely relevant if you want to do well in games.
But then, like cognitive capacities and all that stuff, I think that you can train a lot. So maybe people, even if they have a smaller bucket and can't fill it up that far, they maybe can fill it faster or stuff like that.
Yes, but then the other thing on those arguments is always like, well, you can certainly for yourself do really, really well. But if you talk about like be the most successful at the peak of the peak, there's just going to be the other guy that does the same amount of work or more and just has the better setup on like IQ or personality traits, I think.
Yeah, it
And
sounds like
that
the
is the person you're
IQ.
competing with. That's the issue.
Yeah, like the IQ for maybe a gamer, I guess, is similar to a body type for
Yeah.
most
Yeah,
athletes.
makes
Like
sense.
if you're 5'2", 100 pounds, you can get really good at basketball and be competitive maybe in your high school. But once you open up that field to the people who are 6'3", 6'5", 6'8", then you don't stand much of a chance anymore.
Yep. Yeah, especially when we're talking about the top league. So what you're saying is I'm not gonna never become number one in arena as long as you're here, Viper, because you were born with more IQ and I'm just stuck in.
I don't think my IQ is that great. I think I'm more of an example of somebody who just puts in insane amounts of hours and sacrifice a lot from the rest of his life to get where I got, basically. I mean, I never did an IQ test, but I can't imagine it's like insanely high because it's like when you said you go to college and you see the other kids there, it's like, yeah, I mean, I went to college to study math and I was like, well, yeah, in high school, like, okay, the others are not that good as me if it comes to like problem solving things and so on. You go to college, it's like, okay, there's like some kids here that are like just insane. Like I can't compete. Or the same with like this math Olympics, like school-wide things. So like, yeah, in my school, I'm really good. I go to the state, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm not even the best in the state. So I don't think I have like the craziest IQ myself.
Yeah, I've never taken an IQ test. I kind of want to though. I want to just see where it would put me. But I also wish I took one like 10 years ago because, again, I don't understand the whole concept of IQ, I guess, but I feel like I know a lot more now than I did 10 years ago. Like, how would it have changed? I can't imagine I would have gotten the same score 10
the
years
test
ago.
must
like I do right
kind of
now.
be on your age, right? It must be an IQ test for a 20-year-old because
IQ test is more like pattern recognition kind of stuff, right? So
like things you would know anyway.
no, it's like how do you like, I don't know, you're shown like 4 symbols and then like a multiple choice of like which is the fifth in the row or something that like fits here.
Like problem solving stuff. And
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
that's like the main idea of the question, right? I always wonder if I would have taken IQ test as like a really little kid because I feel like the questions would have been like really easy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I tried out for the doctor's tests to get into college, to medical college. I can't even. And
That's crazy.
I think just for fun, like everybody studies because you kind of know the question, so you can kind of prepare for it. And I just went in and tried it. I was like top 300 out of 1,000, and the top 150 or something were taken, or maybe 200. I don't remember. But I thought I could do it if I study for it. And I think it's kind of IQ test where it was a lot of like, I think it goes further. It also goes into like biological things that you know, and also like geometrical thinking. I don't know the correct word for it and stuff like this. But it's fun. It was like 6 hours or 8 hours or something in a big hall with 1,000 people. It was weird.
Yeah, I wouldn't put myself through that.
No, it was a cool experience, but I'm glad I didn't become a doctor. I would have probably just, I don't know.
No, once I got through my master's degree, like it took me 7 years to do my bachelor's and my master's, and after that, I was like, I'm done with college. Like I'm done with all this formal education. I'm never going back. This is what it is now.
Yeah, I didn't make it that far. I think I mean, on paper, I could argue I made it like 2.5 years. I think 2 years. I can argue that on paper. In reality, it wasn't really that, because I did studying math was like a full-time job, and the whole esports stuff was a full-time job. So I did like 2 full-time jobs at the same time. Obviously, I didn't have 100% in either, essentially. So I don't know. Like, I can argue I studied 2 years, but I didn't get the knowledge of 2 years, I would say.
Yeah. Well, more and more lately, I'm realizing like how not worthless it was. Like, obviously, I spent 10 years in that profession. I needed that degree, but like you can be very successful without a degree.
Yeah.
And now I'm one of those people who's in college or student loan debt, and I'm like, I wish I didn't have that.
No, you have a shit system.
It's pretty bad.
Our freaking university is free, dude. And I got like, for me, was the other side of the spectrum. I just did what I had to do to get like the money from the government to support me, and then I would just like go once a month and just party the rest of the time and not really get anything done.
Yeah, it's definitely not a very good system here.
Yeah, like I just hear about student loans, and that's just a crazy concept to me. To like, I mean it's pretty genius from the system's point of view, I guess. Just indebting your smartest people or your most educated people.
I feel like it's not too hard to see that giving 6-figure loans to like 18, 19-year-old kids isn't a smart thing to do. But
right?
I don't know.
Because you hit that whole argument of like, oh well, these kids signed up for this, and they put themselves in that situation. And it's like, yeah, I'll take responsibility. Like when I was 18 years old, I signed something that gave me, I don't know, $100,000 worth of debt. But at 18, I had no clue what I was doing. If I know now, like when I was 18, if I know what I knew now, I would have never done that.
When are you allowed to drink alcohol?
21.
Oh yeah, but $100,000, that's something we can trust with 18-year-olds.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I didn't know better, and I like to be the person that takes self-responsibility. But like maybe if I was taught a little something about this in high school, like all right, well, if you take these loans at 8% interest, you're going to be paying them off your entire life. Then I would have maybe thought about it more.
That's
I was like given the dream of like, oh yeah, you take these loans, you go through college for 4 years, and then you just pay it off the next couple of years when you have a real job. Doesn't work that way.
Insane. It's like a big scam.
Oh yeah,
that's huge.
Yep.
Wow.
That's why when I found Bitcoin and crypto, I was like, this is my way out. I'm using this. Hopefully, at the end of this bull run, I can just pay off those college student loans, and then I'll be free.
I wish you can do that. I believe in you. We got this.
Yeah.
But it was not all for nothing, right? You can I think you're probably still a lot into fitness, and it helps you a lot with everything else. Like I said earlier, like if I don't exercise, if I don't do also mental exercises away from computer, everything is going to deteriorate. So I think that goes a long way, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's, even though nobody who sees me from like this Illuvium GameFi community like sees much about like the fitness, that's still like the number one priority for me. Because if I'm staying fit, staying healthy, I always say like health is wealth. Like that's the number one thing. Because I mean, there's a reason why I've been able to like just grind as much as I have with like a full-time job, YouTube, the podcast I have, and
a family.
And I have an 8-year-old daughter that keeps me busy too. Like I feel like my physical fitness and physical health has allowed me to do that. I'm not one of those people who get sick all the time. Like I'm just, I don't know. I think it's very important for most people, and it helps with like the mental health side of things too. Like I don't know. There's a lot of mental health issues going on these days, and I feel like just staying fit and being dedicated to something like that just keeps that other stuff away, and it lets you focus on what you need to do to be successful.
100%. It teaches you like super fundamental values that you should just put in some hard work and you're going to get rewarded for it, right? And so when we talked about like the programming fitness comparison, like hardworking and so on, right? Like most people, it's like the similar mindset. Like, you have to put in the effort, you have to put in the work, and you actually just do it. Like you don't just go, I'm going to clock out early today, I'm going to lace off, or let me just order, I don't know, junk food, eat a pizza and drink a cup of beer and watch TV and whatever. No, you're just like, well, I have to outperform these other people. I have to do well, and therefore I just got to do it. I cannot just check out, right? So I think it was always a good mindset comparison there. And if you look at it, right, like nowadays this old gamer idea, you sit in the basement, order fast food, and you're like, I don't know, unhealthy nerd or whatever. That's not really the reality I think we live in anymore. I think most people, especially on the like higher end that do really, really well, like the top 1% in like video games, they tend to look out for their fitness and health as well. Like not only because a mental coach maybe told them like, yeah, like going outside and having some sun that's like relevant for your brain to work properly. And I don't know, I mean, I was told I should do meditation and so on. I did that for a while as well. I actually like meditating a lot. Maybe I should start it again. So there's like all these things, and they do help. And more people are aware that they do. And the ones that just perform well, right? Like the hard stuck silver gold elo players, well, yeah, they probably should invest like an hour a day in going to the gym and taking a walk or something, and it probably would help them like play better as well, because you're more calm, you're more relaxed, you make better decisions, your mind is not like Alex Becker talks about this all the time, right? When you watch his you follow his Twitter, he's always like, oh, if you go out and drink, you're gonna feel shitty for the next few days, foggy mind and so on. It's like, I don't 100% agree with everything the guy says. I think he's a bit over extreme for the average person, but to a great extent, it's just true. Like to a great extent, like, yeah, you like taking care of your body and your mind like helps you in whatever else you want to do in your life.
Yeah, I do have some issues with how Alex Becker presents everything.
Yeah. That's
like obviously he's in really good shape. He's successful, like, and a lot of people want to do that. But the thing that I've always done in my fitness, and I've actually transitioned it to like my content creation, is just finding like something sustainable. Like if you go with the whole Alex Becker idea of like, let me wake up at 3:30 in the morning, work out for a little while, do something else, go do jujitsu at night. Like if I try to do that, it would last 2 weeks and I would just, my body would fall apart, or I just wouldn't be able to do it because it's not sustainable. So like for the past really 10 years, it's like, all right, I'm going to the gym twice this week. I'm not going to try to go 5-7 days because I know I can't sustain that. So I just go twice. There's, my gym sessions. I know things I want to stay away from in my diet, but I don't do like I'm not going to have sugar at all for weeks because I know it's just not sustainable. And the same thing with like content creation. Like I've been doing the GameFi Rundown podcast once every 2 weeks. I haven't missed an upload in almost 2 years now. And that's just because I haven't tried to do like two podcasts a week, because I know that wouldn't be sustainable. Where I knew if I was like once every other week, that's to a point where I could sustain that. And then it's just natural. It's like, all right, 2 weeks come, like let's do this podcast. Same thing with fitness. I'm like, oh, a Monday comes, that's the day I'm going to go to the gym. Let me just go. It's just part of the plan.
Yeah, that helps you a lot also, because obviously failing is good to learning and everything. But in this case, failing just proves your subconsciousness that you can get out of habits and stuff like this. And if you do something sustainable, something realistic, something small, and keep on doing it, it trains your mental strength, your subconscious, that this is now what we do, and this is now a healthy habit. And the more you can build of them, the more everything will just round out and just work out. Instead of, I'm doing it every day, you fail after 2 weeks, and then it's a bad habit.
Yeah, the more extreme it is,
quitting.
the less. Yeah, the more extreme it is, the less likely you're going to be able to stick with it. That's why I don't like the whole idea of like people going on diets. Like you shouldn't go on a diet. You should just change your lifestyle. If you go on a diet, you could do the perfect thing for 3 months, get in great shape. But like if it was an unsustainable diet that you're not going to be able to go your whole life doing, then to me, there's no point. I'd rather take 6 months to get into shape, but doing something sustainable that I could carry for the rest of my life,
100%, yeah.
There's a lot of good examples on like public figures as well that just like bullshit with doing too much, right? Like what was Arnold Schwarzenegger's idea on fitness? He was like, you have to work out 6 times a day, 7 days a week, and like super crazy shit. And like other bodybuilders did, and they were like, no, it just doesn't work. Like I get weaker. It's not even good for the body. It's just bullshit, right? So it's like the same with Becker, right? It's like the too extreme thing. I guess like maybe you can name dropping other famous people, right? Like, but that's probably why Andrew Tate is more relatable to a lot of people as well, because like he just says, well, yeah, I'm gonna smoke my cigar, I'm gonna drink my whiskey, I'm gonna eat this food here, like whatever. And people say, well, but it's unhealthy, and so he says like, well, I just live a super healthy life, I do a lot of sports anyways, like it's fine if I do this. Like this is just a realistic way of living, and I think that makes the guy more relatable compared to something that is just completely unachievable for the average person. Yeah, that's the whole idea. So interesting to see it from that angle.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, no, I lost it there. But since you're name dropping, I was thinking about another name which helped me a lot too, and it's a little bit on the other spectrum. It's Glucose Goddess, I think, is her Twitter or Instagram handle. And we watched with my girlfriend while we were driving. We listened to a podcast where she talks about glucose spikes. For example, if you eat a sugary meal in the morning, it's going to spike your glucose, increase inflammation, increase like health issues. And then later on, you're going to crave more sugar and so on. And then instead of saying you cannot eat something sweet in the morning, which is, I think, something achievable anyway, but in general, it's just not about removing sugar, but maybe eating veggies first. Those veggies give you the fiber who kind of act like a net, and they capture the sugar before it goes in and slow down this. I eat processed food, it goes instantly in my bloodstream, gives me a spike. So for example, you can eat a salad before you eat your cake or whatever, and this is gonna reduce your blood sugar spike. It's going to reduce all the negative effects, and you're going to crave less sugar for the rest of the day. And that's what I like easy things that are achievable. I can still eat my cake, but I eat a carrot first, and we're all good. And it's not that easy, obviously, but it helps already. Like it's small steps to the right direction.
The other thing that I've learned over the years is that like fitness and exercises and stuff that's the fun stuff to talk about, but the diet is the most important thing. Like if you don't have the right diet, it doesn't matter what you're doing for fitness and in the gym. Like some people think that they can balance it out. Oh, I eat a cake, I go for a 2-mile run. Like it doesn't work like that. Like you need to have the diet set. And I would say like if you don't have the time to focus on both things, get your diet right first and then move on to the fitness stuff. Don't try to do the fitness with a shit diet.
Yeah. White sugar, like processed candy and freaking all those like stuff that is already grinded down to the essential thing that your body has to do zero work. It goes zack. Like, yeah, it's rough. If you cannot quit that, it's gonna be very tough to get fit and in shape and everything, especially in the long run.
And just like the whole like idea of having like sustainable things that you can do. Like one thing I do with sugar is I don't eliminate it completely, but like if I'm gonna have anything sweet, it's like that's like a little something sweet after my dinner, before I'm like getting ready for bed at night. Like I don't have anything sweet in the mornings, or I usually don't even eat breakfast, but I don't have anything in the morning, afternoon. I don't snack on a lot of things, but like I get that little bit of sweetness that my body craves just right after dinner at night, and then that's it for the whole day.
That's the perfect time to do it. You're not, as long as you don't start with it. So you don't eat breakfast, meaning you fast a little bit, like get some 12, 14, 16 hours.
That's another thing I've been really into for a few years now. And I've tried like different systems. Like I did the whole 16 hours off, 8 on for a while. And I think that's a good starting point if you're not used to fasting.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, 16 really hours seems like a lot if you're not used to it. But I get to a point where that just felt natural. Like if I eat until 8 p.m. at night, I don't even get hungry until noon anymore, which is the 16 hours. So now I try to push it a little further. And actually on Mondays, so today's the day for me, like I fast, like I get almost a 48-hour fast. So I don't eat at all today. I ate last night. I finished eating around, 8 p.m. I won't eat at all today. I'll wake up tomorrow. Huh?
48. That's what you said.
Yeah, 48.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's long.
So I won't eat today. I'll wake up tomorrow. I got to go to my day job. I don't bring a lunch or anything. And then I get home and it's maybe like 5 or 6 at night and then I eat. So usually it's around 46 hours I'll do on a Monday. But like some people are so against fasting and some people are big into it. But like once you give it a try, like you do realize you feel so much better.
I think
Like, you get past a certain point and you're just like, I just feel good now. My body's running off of fat storage instead of sugar storage. And it's much more like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just feel better. I don't know how else to.
It's also just more natural, right? People eat before they sleep and then they wake up and eat again. Like you didn't get rid of all that energy that you just ate before you slept. It's still there. You like clean out your system a little bit. Use what is in your body. Otherwise, of course, it's gonna go straight to the belly.
I mean, you go back to the caveman days, right? And it's like they killed their animal, they ate it, and it's like, all right, well, the next day we don't have food in the morning. We got to go out and hunt and find some more. So it's like you're naturally, I think that like fasting is just part of what people should be doing.
I don't think 48 hours is something you should ever suggest to anybody right away, and I'm sure you wouldn't do that. But just getting into 12 hours and maybe trying out 16 hours and stuff like this is definitely a natural thing to do and nothing dangerous. And then you can see how your body reacts to it, feels to it. Because I have a body type, I don't get hungry either for 20 hours if I don't have like a habit connected to it. Yeah. And I easily store energy. I have some reserves left, and I take it away from that easily as well, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's something you got to build up to. Like, I definitely wouldn't recommend anyone just try 48 hours. Start with making sure you get that 12, move to that 16. A lot of people just do that 16, 8, like just every day, and it works great. And I did that for a little while too, until I wanted to like push myself a little bit more. But what happens is your body starts, it gets more efficient at using fat as fuel. So you get to a point where the glucose in your body, all the sugar it runs out. But like my body is just used to taking the fat as fuel. So like even right now I'm only maybe 13, 14 hours into the fast. But like over the next 24, 35 hours, my body just knows it's just using fat as fuel. And it's efficient at doing that already.
So, for example, somebody's very skinny shouldn't do that, I guess, because he's gonna run out of fat as well at one point, and then it's maybe
a bit scary. I mean, it depends. Like if you're healthy skinny, then I don't think you have an issue. If you're like skinny because of like a eating disorder or something like that, then obviously there's issues with that too. The other thing with me is like even though like I might go 46 hours without eating, when I eat that dinner tomorrow, I'm going to eat enough calories to make up for that, basically those 2 days. Like I'll go and eat probably 2,500 calories, maybe 3,000 calories in one meal. So like I'm still getting the nutrients and the calories I need. I'm just pushing that time closer together and fasting for longer periods.
Yeah. I like that. It helps also a lot with just eating what you want, but just not all the time. And then it gets a bit easier to not.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't hold back. I have certain things that I might stay away from, or I don't know. But like if I go to the way I think about it is like I went to like it's a kind of a holiday this weekend. We had Memorial Day, so I went to like a party at my brother's house yesterday. Ate a bunch of crap to eat, and I just ate a ton of crap. But it's just like okay, I don't do that all the time. I live a sustainable lifetime, or like a sustainable, what do we call it? Just like whatever I do, like it's just like I don't have issues with eating that shit food all the time. So I was like, all right, one day I can get away with it, and then I just go back to my normal program.
Yeah, I like cheat days, and if I want to treat myself, I also don't eat meat usually. But if like my family cooks, I don't care. It tastes amazing. I do it maybe for how do you say, like global reasons or also for health reasons. I don't think it's a very, very good fat for your body. Yeah, it's very saturated, I believe. Anyway, don't want to get into this discussion, but what I want to say is, if my mother wants to cook some crazy pig, go ahead, go wild. But I don't want to buy it. And when I cook for myself, I'm happy with just veggies. But yeah,
well,
once in a while,
that's
I
the thing,
maybe
like,
want that sausage.
yeah,
I
and
don't
that's the thing
care.
I think I said it earlier, but it's just like one thing isn't going to work for everybody. Like, for example, I'm more on that meat eater side. Like,
Yeah,
most
sure.
of what I
Yeah,
eat
same.
is meat, and it works for me. And clearly, I can look at you. You're not some fat slob. So like, so
Thanks.
whatever you're eating, if you're doing mostly the veggie side of things, like that clearly works for you too. So there's not like a one thing works for everybody. But I would just suggest, if you're in a position where you're not happy with what your body is doing right now, try something. You know, try the no meat, go the carnivore diet and go all meat. Just try something and figure out what works for you.
I've
Yeah.
been really thinking about trying out carnivore diet.
It's so
I've been
scary to me.
almost. I mean, like I eat a lot of beef, especially like almost every day, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely like heavy on that like meat side as well. I never like entire carnivore. Like I still, I don't know. Today for like dinner, I just made like one burger. That's like, okay, there's like some like bread plus the burger patty, right? Or usually, I don't know, just make some pasta and bolognese sauce and then like a lot of meat on that. And so that's like my normal day-to-day meals kind of things. I've started doing it like maybe a year ago when I just started like just home cooking more, especially mainly, especially in the days when I was going really, really hard on streaming and everything. My day would usually be on like what I eat pretty unhealthy, because it would be like, yeah, let me order this takeout and now the other place the next day and the other place the next day, because I just didn't have time to prepare good meals, essentially.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm just going to focus, I don't know, 14 hours, 16 hours a day on work, right? So I was eating takeout, and I was like at the evening, let me, I don't know, have the glass of wine, beer or whiskey or whatever. Drinking a lot of alcohol. I mean, because like a lot is like a different definition for everybody, right? But like just not like crazy unhealthy alcoholic, right?
I think it's just
like,
a definition. Yeah.
like the end of the day, right? End of the day, of like 1 or 2 hours before I go to bed, like, okay, let me have a drink. So I was like, that was not really like physically healthy lifestyle. I'm way more happy with it is now, but it also just takes more time away. I'm also like, well, like right now I wouldn't be able, like Illuvium would be live, for example, and I would be like, okay, I want to stream and do stuff like 16, 18 hours a day. Well, that's kind of tough. Like, I have to like make compromises. Either like I can't spend that much time on essentially work, or I don't know, like figure out what else I do with like food and so on, right? I mean, currently I have a lot of allergy problems. Otherwise, I was going on a walk every day, for example. I really enjoy going on a walk every day. I think it's a good thing. But again, it takes time away from doing work-related things for me, right? Which I never had a 9 to 5. I was always entrepreneur. There was always more I can be doing. There was never, okay, my day is over, there's nothing to do. No, I could make another video, another stream, look at this other project, look at this other game. I can look at this, I don't know, meditation thing or mind thing, knowledge thing. I can always learn more. At some point, I thought about just like, maybe I should start learning Chinese, because a lot of the Hearthstone relevant things, there was a lot in China. I was like, well, it would actually help tremendous amount if I would be able to speak Chinese. Maybe they would have invited me to a bunch of tournaments, because I just could like talk to them, right? And it would be cool for their audience and whatever. So there was always more that I could be doing, and I get that's like a interesting trade-off. I don't really have an idea how I'm gonna do this once Illuvium hits mainnet as well.
Yeah.
The way I'm gonna do it, you go first.
I was gonna say like fasting, I feel like helps me with that situation. One of the reasons why I really started doing the longer fast is because I was like, I don't want to waste time cooking something and eating something. You know, even if you're a quick cooker, you make something quick and you can eat fast, you're looking at maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour out of your day. But like today, for example, I'm not going to eat at all. And the hour I might have spent making lunch and eating lunch, I'm going to go to the gym and work out. You know, another hour that I would have spent making and eating dinner, I'm going to, film a video for YouTube. So it's like, I'm not always in that constant state of like, when am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? I'm just my body just knows like, hey, I might not eat for a little while. I can get other stuff done.
Yeah.
I kind of passively started doing like the 16-hour-ish thing more or less because of that. I was like, yeah, just like I never like pay attention to it. I want to do 16/8 or something, but that is my average day. Like it's just how it is. I don't know.
Yeah, the way I'm gonna do it when Illuvium comes out. First off, I think I can sustain super good. I'm gonna have a bag of apples next to me, a bag of carrots, some cucumbers, a whole bunch of different nuts. Like I love nuts and all of that stuff, and that sustains me pretty good. But you want to eat something healthy once in a while, like something warm once in a while. And since I've been cooking like the last, I guess like probably 10 years only, like I never take out. That's maybe like a one in a month thing that I eat out. Otherwise, we always cook ourselves. And I really enjoy cooking. That's also why it is. But I became really efficient, really fast. And I know how to make big pots as well. So I make like a full-on curry in half an hour. And then it's going to last me for 3 days of food or something. I just have to do rice like 10 minutes.
That's a good way to do it too. Yeah, just make leftovers for a few days. So you don't need to cook those days.
Yeah, and freeze them now. I have a freezer in the van. It's a bit harder, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Are you gonna be in the van when Illuvium is gonna be out?
Very unlucky for my girlfriend, but very lucky for me. She broke her knee and she has to do rehab for the next months. And we decided to not go in the van. And if she cannot even surf and then van life with like torn ACL and everything, it's not gonna be good. But yeah, it's perfect timing. That's what she said too. I broke my knee for you, so you can like grind now and and that's the perfect Illuvium launch. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Can you take 2 weeks free of every? I feel very happy because I have no real responsibilities yet. I still don't have like, especially no kid, no pets and stuff. It's gonna be hard for you, Nick, right? To just say, hey, sorry, 2 weeks now. I'm not your daddy.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've been doing things like in a sustainable way that like I'm not too worried about it. But I'm also, one of my big focuses over the past like 6 months is to try to move into Web3 more full time. Like I'm still, like you mentioned before, I'm now working with Illuvium only part time, 16 hours a week really. But like to me, that's, I think my foot was already in the door, but now my foot's a little further in the door to just move full time somewhere, whether it be Illuvium or something other Web3 that kind of fills that gap. But right now I'm still, 3 days a week, I'm commuting 45 minutes to a day job. And then I'm spending my time there feeling like I'm just wasting my time. Cause like, I don't want to be there. I want to be doing other things. I'll still make some tweets on Twitter, but like, I want to get to the point where I'm basically home 24/7 on my computer. I have like a little job that pays a sustainable income. And then I do more stuff like this, make more videos, do more live streams. That's the goal. And I think I'll get there. I don't know if it's going to be right at open beta launch, but eventually I'll have more time that I could dedicate to it. Right now, if we launch today, I wouldn't be ready for it. Yeah. But give me another 2-3 months and we'll see where we're at.
2-3 months? Are you dropping leaks here or what?
No, I don't know anything. I actually, now that I look at it, we're May 27th already.
Yeah, we're not so far away, huh? From the original.
It could be as soon as 4 or 5 weeks. That is kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, it comes fast all of a sudden. It has been a long wait, but it comes fast. How are you gonna? First of all, the 45 minutes commute, that sucks. It just feels like wasted time, right? And I hope you can move into full time with Illuvium. Have you been? I know you cannot talk about anything, but have you been enjoying your time there? Like it's what you hoped for. And then the second part to the question would have been: is it harder now to find time to make content?
Well, I get the first part. Yeah. So I've been working part-time with them for about 2 months now. And I'm enjoying it. I'm working on the data side. Like technically my title is data analyst. So I'm basically making these internal dashboards where like, say somebody wants to go into see what's going on in the arena. Like who's the top players, who's winning, what alluvials are being used the most, kind of all the data that comes out of it. I put together these dashboards so whoever's the head of that team in illuvium can go and just look in and see all the stats that they want to help them make decisions on any changes they make. But I like it. It's cool just being in the deeper into illuvium we're all there right now with council, but getting onto the team just puts you even more deeper inside of it, just to kind of see the ins and outs of what's going on and discussed on a daily basis. So I do like that because I've basically, dedicated a lot of my life over the past 3 years to illuvium. So now I'm just closer to them. What was the second part? Time to make more content?
Because maybe a little caveat to that, because I talked to Modern Llama, who also he's working full time at the moment, I think, and he said he loves it there as well, but there is almost no time anymore for his own content creation because if you're full time in illuvium, you're grinding nonstop. Hello there.
Yeah, my daughter will go. You're too heavy. I can't even pick you up anymore. What's up? Did you want to say hi? No? Okay. I'll give it to you later. All right. I got half an hour. Okay?
Maximum.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she just woke up. I knew she was going to run in here. Yeah, so you're saying so modern llama. Yeah, because he hasn't been making much content since he.
Yeah, and he said himself he has way less time, obviously, to do his own thing instead of before. But it's not like a complaint. He wouldn't change it just because I was thinking about trying to apply for jobs and stuff. And he says it's really hard to get both on the head, like doing efficient content on your side and then he also doing content for illuvium. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think his situation is a little different. Because as far as I know, he's full-time illuvium.
Yeah.
He's got a full-time job there. For me, it's just it's still a part-time thing. I have that expectation of working 16 hours a week, and it's pretty flexible. So, there might be one morning I put in 4, 5, 6 hours, I hop on at night and I knew I got to get some stuff done. So I put in 2 hours there. So for me, it's a lot easier to kind of manage that time. If I was full-time, then it might be a different story. I think where the issue comes a little bit more with me is the actual content I can put out. Because now that I'm kind of internal in the data side of things, there's been some videos in the past where I've figured out some of this data before, and I've made charts, and I'm this is what it should be, something like that. But now that I actually have a direct line to that data, it's I can't really talk about that anymore because it's not just me speculating on things. I can't make videos about the stuff that I can directly see. So that makes things a little tougher about the content I can actually put together and make, because obviously I'm under an NDA, so I can't. There's some stuff that I just can't talk about right now. But the time wise, I don't think it's that much of an issue. If I wanted to stream more in when we get into open beta, I will want to stream more. That's going to be more time consuming. I know both of you do a lot of the streaming, and when you're spending 2, 3, 4 hours or more streaming per day, that chews up a lot more time than prepping a video, filming something in 20, 30 minutes, doing some editing, and getting 2 of those out per week.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah. Also, I'd say the tricky thing on streaming as well is that when you say you can just go record a video, edit the video, you can just choose your own time frames for that, and you can also be okay, now I have 1 hour or 2 hours to put into this. You're streaming, you click the go live button, you stream for 1 or 2 hours, you go offline. It's horrible because you genuinely have more and more live viewers the longer you stream. So most of the super successful colleagues, friends of mine that I used to talk with in the house sometimes, right? They'd have 10,000 viewers and whatever. They would be if you stream at least 5 hours plus. And after 5 hours, if you don't want to be live for 5 hours, then what does it even do for the day, right? So they would be just 8 hours. That's the normal day, and then 10, 12 or whatever is if you make a long day, right? I mean, that's what I did. So I think if I go back, I at least like stream like 200 hours a month or so when I actually did like try hard for it and I actually cared for it. I would love to do that as well, but they said and there's just not that much interest on testnet illuvium streaming, overworld streaming, whatever. When there was illuvium arena and leaderboard rewards, there was a lot more interest. I was really happy to just make, I don't know, 8 hour a day stream or whatever at that time, because yeah, people wanted to watch it. Right now there's not too much interest in it, so I think right now, like, certainly the YouTube and make videos, like everything that's this evergreenish thing where in the future, like, I'm live streaming and people ask me a question, I can be like, oh yeah, I have a dedicated 20-minute video, go check it out. I think that's really, really valuable stuff to do right now. And especially if you're a streamer, you can go like, well, yeah, you can watch the stream now and then you can watch the video afterwards and whatever. So it's really, really good. And yeah, streaming takes far more time. On the other hand, though, if you can get to a point where you just go, okay, I'm just going to record my YouTube videos live. I'm just going to like, I don't know, sit here and stream, and I'm going to hit the record button and I'm going to do that like live on stream for the next 30 minutes or whatever. Or you just take a game, you treat it more as a YouTube video than a like live stream. You just explain a bit more or take on a bit of a different articulate thing, right? Because I think the difference on, I mean, especially on like Twitch and YouTube, like Twitch viewers more on the like sweaty tryhard gamer side, and YouTube is always more on the casual side. People look something up for a guide, for an explanatory thing, and so on. So you want to just be, I don't know, really on top of that and so on. So yeah, but you can like combine those things. That's really great. You can use, I think Paz is doing it a lot right now. He's just streaming and clipping a bunch of things. So he has a bunch of YouTube shorts from the live streams. So that is like the time efficient thing you want to do long term anyways. Like, you just do your stream, and with your stream you make a bunch of extra content. I think I mean, I mentioned Dantes, I think, on the content creator side. I don't know if you guys, you know, the guy is like League of Legends streamer or whatever. He's known for like doing and saying a lot of crazy things all the time, basically. Or that's part of what he's known for. And his best revenues, he recently talked about, his actual like good revenue source is his Clips YouTube channel. There's like a million subscribers, and he's just, when he's live streaming, he's just generating a bunch of clips for that channel. And he's making like 2 to 3 times more money on that channel than he's making on Twitch, for example. But he just needs a Twitch stream and the clips anyways to have content for that. And he's also talking about how he's spending crazy amounts of money for editors all the time and so on. But yeah, you can just give your Twitch VOD to an editor, and well, yeah, it's gonna, if you're at a point where it's a sustainable revenue thing, I think that's the great point. You can just give the entire stream to an editor and be like, make videos out of this, make clips out of this. And if then the clips just at least go plus minus zero-ish, then, well, that's amazing, because then you can just like grow. And at that point, it really starts to snowball.
That's the point.
I was going to say, like, I think that's the goal. Like, right now, I'm not in a position where I could pay an editor to do that. But if I ever got to that point where it's like, I could stream, make some just raw videos myself, and just give it all to an editor and be like, turn this into a couple, you know, maybe 8 to 12 minute videos, give me like 25 shorts, clip it from all of this, so I have everything I need for a week or two. Yeah, that's a good goal to aim for. Just, I feel like you need to grow to a certain point before you can start doing that.
Yeah, it has to like feel sustainable. I mean, for example, when like 2020, like streaming Hearthstone a lot, right? My YouTube was just like incredibly net negative money. It's like, I mean, I was at some point, at a pretty early point, I realized I cannot stream and make YouTube videos myself. I just don't have the time for that, because I was also competing at the same time. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay an editor for doing that stuff. And it was okay. I mean, the YouTube channel did like not horrible and whatever. It probably got me more followers on Twitch, more views on Twitch as well, which obviously also is a revenue source at that point. So it was okay, but like YouTube by itself was just a net negative money sink every month, like a couple $100 every month, just like net negative. So it was not financially annoying, but it was annoying knowing this is just a net negative thing, and maybe at some point it's going to be positive, because I knew from like the other people doing the same thing, like everybody was essentially just saying, yeah, like you just do it because it drives more people to Twitch, which actually generates revenue. And YouTube was pretty meh. So we talked about with TSG about this, and he was like, yeah, you can do like the pre-roll sponsorships and so on YouTube, but it's like, it's so much more hassle than just giving an editor the video and be like, go make it. And then you drive like more audience to the platform that actually is very good monetizable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. I with my streaming and the wars recently, I agree that after a few hours, like you kind of hit your peak viewership, it feels really hard to stop. Sometimes when I'm like, today I was capped at 2 hours. I streamed before we went live, and then finally everything is starting to roll, and then you have to stop. But I'm also multi-streaming also onto YouTube, and that kind of saves me in this regard, because a lot of people just come and re-watch, maybe just click through it what I'm doing and stuff like this, maybe not like watch the whole thing obviously, but it makes it a little bit more that it's even worth if I go online for an hour. If I have something important to say, to teach, to play, people are still gonna see it. And it's kind of like, I like that, because the Twitch streams are kind of like Twitch videos. You have a VOD that's persistent, that's, yeah, you're making content actually, where the YouTube, sorry. And on Twitch, it's going to be deleted, and it's really just for streaming for live, basically.
Yeah. And I haven't gotten into it.
Are they getting deleted nowadays?
I think maybe you have to be partner super high. I think you just get a higher number. Like you have maybe a month if you're partnered or something like this. Mine get deleted after 7 days.
Let me check.
And I know all the big streamers, they upload their VODs to a separate VOD YouTube channel, so they're persistent. So
yeah, I mean that's just like entirely free content. If you do that, you just have it's no effort at all. You make some low effort thumbnail, description, whatever. Just click download, upload in there.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into Twitch much at all. Like I have an account, but I haven't done anything. When I stream, I've mostly been doing YouTube and X, and I've only gone short ones, maybe hour and a half. But what I realize is that most of the live viewers are coming from X, so it's just popping up and they're watching it. But then, like you said, after the video's done, I might look at it 24 hours later, and I maybe I only had 5 to 10 viewers on YouTube, but the video's got like 150, 200 views. So it's like people are coming to watch that a little bit after. So it kind of, I like it, and that's why I want to do more of it. Obviously, it's not the same as a well put together edited video, but the fact that it just stays there on YouTube I like that as well.
Yeah. X is interesting because I definitely always get the most viewers on X, and I'm still trying to figure out how they calculate all of this, because we have had some discussions basically when one time illuvium retweeted my stream on Twitter, and I got like 2,000 viewers, and it popped up in my OBS 2,000. I was freaking out. I was getting high off that number. I was like talking faster and faster and being so
I like retweeted it that day. I was just like, look at Az's got 2,500 viewers. And I think Storyox was on at the same time with a similar amount. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was so cool. But then we had like discussions if this is even real or just like one-time viewers that get added up. But by now I've seen that actually the number goes down, so that it wouldn't make sense if they get added up. But it always seems too much because there's never engagement coming. If there's 50 Twitter viewers, nobody chats ever. But maybe that's just how it is. And but it's really cool. It brings impression, it brings everything. Twitter will be the new thing, I guess. It is already the thing for Web3, and Elon Musk has announced something that he wants to make it a streaming service like Twitch. That would be cool. So
I hope they do more with it, because I know with at least the software I use, where I can have the comments coming through, I don't even know if the people on X are trying to make comments, because it doesn't bring those comments through. It only brings the YouTube comments through.
Yeah, I've seen on that day, I was like, guys, send me something. I need to know you're not bots. And then a few people chatted out of the 2,000. I had like 5 chatters or something. So it's weird. And also, no, after 500, Twitter stops the chat function. So it wasn't, they couldn't chat anymore when it got too high. But in the beginning, they chatted a bit. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they do it.
Hopefully Elon fixes that, because it's got a lot of potential. I just don't think it's there yet.
Yeah, maybe it's not. It's not going to take gaming over in Twitch category, but it's going to take Web3.
I don't know, actually.
It has a lot of potential.
I can see X doing really, really well if they make a good mobile streaming service and option and chat functions and so on out of this.
Yeah.
That would be, I can actually see X doing incredibly well on that. Because a lot of people, I don't know, like Twitch lives to a good extent on like just chatting and a bunch of bullshit stuff nowadays as well, right? So I can see Elon making something cool there.
Yeah, and it's gonna be good for everybody if there's another competitor, because YouTube kind of started the fire on the Twitch's ass, it feels like, but now they they slowed down. They're kind of focusing on shorts, trying to capitalize on the TikTok market, and they're not really trying to be the best streaming platform out there. They're still far behind on some of the features, and yeah, X could do that and bring
I think
benefit to everybody.
YouTube streaming is just it's just not the same as Twitch streaming, because I think like that's my fundamental take on YouTube versus Twitch. It's like Twitch is just the higher percentile of ranked players in games. Like if you watch Twitch, you genuinely want to be like a better at the game you play. You want to watch somebody that's like good at the game you can like learn something from. Like, yes, that person also has to probably have different brand qualities and just be good at the game. But you always have to have this like minimum level, like be like top 1-2% ish at the game at least. So the average viewer doesn't feel like he's watching some idiot that's worse than they are, because that's not good at watching. That's why I don't know, maybe some people are going to be mad at me for this take, but I think it's very true. That's why you see a lot of the like girl streamers, the pretty girls, whatever. They kind of like cap out at some medium level viewership numbers, because they are oftentimes just not that good at the game. So they have a really easy time getting started on a platform because of your pretty girl. That tends to be a good marketing tool, but they have like a hard time getting crazy viewer numbers and things like that. And it's, I don't know, statistically, I think it's just essentially a correct statement. Or hate me for it, guys, but I think that's part of the reason. And on YouTube, it's different. YouTube is far more casual, and people just want to watch like the biggest clickbait bullshit thing on YouTube. Where it's like, this is the most OP thing to do, and here you have this one thing that you can just copy and paste. And Twitch is more like, well, the answer of, well, there's not one thing that you can copy paste. There's a very situational. You're basically asking me, is there one screwdriver that I can use for every screw in the world? And the answer is obviously no. You have to have the correct screwdriver for the correct screw. And on YouTube, the answer is going to be, yeah, just use this for everything. And that is like the noob-friendly thing, and Twitch is like a lot less on this.
Yeah. Now, I guess without really thinking about it, that's kind of why I've shied away from Twitch, because I'm just like, I'm not good enough at the game right now to be successful on Twitch, I feel. So it works as like kind of like casual on YouTube in X. And I think I'd bring a lot of other value to the table. But when it comes to actually the gameplay, especially like Arena, like I'm not like you two. Like people aren't going to watch me to rank up in Arena. So it's probably why Twitch hasn't like worked well for me.
Yeah, I agree to some extent to Viper. If I think about Twitch, mostly I'm watching some pro gamer or somebody that's good in the game. But there's also a lot that just, because Twitch is very good at building a community, right? That's why I wanted to swap over to Twitch, because you can have this core following, this tribal following, that you can build a really deep connection to everybody. It's like this own safe space, and YouTube feels more public. Everybody's popping in and out, and also with the emoji and emote culture and everything. On Twitch, it has a lot of different sides to it. If your audience loves you, even if you're not the best player, you can still grow on Twitch and have a good thing. But it's more towards directed, definitely the best player succeeds or whatever.
Yeah, I don't mean it as like you have to be crazy good, but I mean it is like a very, very helpful thing for sure. And yeah, that's like the idea that I wanted to give there. Like there are obviously always like examples where that's not the truth, right? Like we can watch League, and there's probably some platinum or diamond streamer that's having viewers, right?
Yeah, 100%. Hey. That's the first timer for this one. We went a long time without having not straight something up our sleeves for the next one. We can also cut that out, by the way.
No, I mean, content creation is like super interesting, right? I think illuvium is also, when we talk about Jay, right? You say Twitch is not that amazing for you, but like Twitch illuvium, it's just not that good overall. Like there's just not a crazy amount of interest, because it's also to some extent like, why, right? There's a bunch of people in the illuvium community who just want to like play the game and enjoy playing the game, and the game right now is not very competitive, PvP oriented game. We play a PvE creature capture game. That's what we play mainly at the moment. That's what we've played mainly in the betas before. And then there was like survival, which was also like another PvE thing. And sure, you can learn some skills and whatever, but it's different to playing this like tryout PvP game and somebody seeking knowledge to learning from streamers and so on. That's why in the like arena leaderboard rewards, we had good viewership on Illuvium Arena. Like there's like far more going on because people want to do like, yo, I want to be good at this game. I want to rank up. I want to get my rewards and so on. That's like the whole like crypto gaming thing as well, because that's just a good part of the more I put it more invested, not like monetarily invested, but on a time investment side of things, audience that we have, the people who really want to like get deep into things. And yeah, we just, those are just not that interested in just watching somebody play Overworld or like another beta. I think once it's mainnet, and it's going to be so different, because once it's mainnet, everybody is going to be like, yo, Mr. Streamer, which shard should I use here? Which drone ship? Which region? What is my team? What do I do here? What do I like? People are going to actually care about stuff because it's not going to get reset. Their own money is on the line. Like it is just an entirely different thing. It's the same as playing a video game, right? Like your rank or whatever. Like there's actually something that is relevant to you on the line compared to right now. Everybody's just like, I don't know, jumping around and doing like some for fun stuff, right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Once we get to open beta, things are going to change up a lot. And that's why I haven't been focusing too much on the live streams, because I know like I'm doing a little bit to prepare myself for when open beta comes, but that's when I feel like, you know, the viewers are going to come on. The new people who are getting onboarded are going to start paying attention, because they're like, oh, like things matter now. I can put real money into this game and get real NFTs. And we're not there yet. We still just have that core. I mean, it's a big core. Maybe there's like a couple thousand people that are still like into Illuvium right now, but I expect that number to go X's from a couple thousand.
Yeah. And we will be there in a few days. I think tomorrow the gates open to public testers, right? And that's going to be like a first
testnet.
Yeah, it's still testnet, but it's also airdrop farmers that are gonna flood in the masses, and for them it's the same. Money's on the line, so we're definitely gonna get a first experience on how mainnet hopefully is gonna be. Is it tomorrow, 28th? I think.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. Is it 28th or 30th?
I think 28th.
28th.
Yeah.
Anyways, in the next
hopefully
days,
we get a big influx of people. Yeah.
100%. It's gonna be more like just. Like I think more about the basics. I've been shying away from doing like really hardcore basic tutorials. Like I've seen people on Twitter succeed like with some basic guides where he says, here is Brightland steps. There's this bubble. You jump in the bubble, it takes you up. It's like, come on, when I see a bubble, I probably jump on it. I don't want to do a full guide about like
that's what I mean. Like that's like a good YouTube short. Like here's a bubble, it brings you up.
I don't know. It
feels. I've made some simple things like that.
Yeah,
I've also realized that like I feel like I get a different audience between even though I'm basically on X and YouTube, there's a different audience between like a live on YouTube versus a 8-minute video on YouTube versus a short on video on YouTube versus X. So I feel like I'm still kind of targeting 4 different audiences, even though I'm only on 2 platforms. But yeah, they all do a little different. Like I feel like the shorts I make that are like simple, like something like that. Oh, hey, do you know if you jump in this bubble, you can go to the fly up? Like that works for a short, where if I put that into a regular video, anyone watching is going to be like, oh, I knew that already. I don't need to see that again. You know,
I'm going to make that short video today. That's a good idea.
That makes sense.
It works on different platforms. You just got to look at the audience that you have there.
That's true. Twitter is more like newcomers coming in, and YouTube long form is the people that have ridden with us since years.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And I don't want to downplay any, like, it sometimes sounds like, oh, you're so stupid for not trying to jump into the bubble. Obviously, it's when you're in a new game, there's 5,000 different things like this that you have to do the first time. Then it's obvious. But it's also with the long form content, because like Viper said, I kind of want to build up a new library of guides. I've done 100 guides in the past, but all of them are outdated. So I need to do like new guides on every topic. Then when I'm streaming and there is 3 questions flying in, I just copy paste the YouTube links to the full guide and have a little library there. But yeah, then it feels weird because the people that I watch them now, they know everything about the basic guides already. So yeah, but it's okay. I think maybe making them more funny, more entertaining, upping the quality there, or maybe just mixing it up, bringing advanced and basic tips per guide could be ways to do it.
And it's also different, right? Like YouTube Shorts, for example, that's just like a funnel for new viewers to just see your channel, period, or see the game, or see you, and things like that. So even if you just go, well, this is a short, this is how the bubble works in this game. Well, first of all, the game has pretty good graphics. Second of all, you can interact with the environment, and then you can shoot. You see those things going on. Like, that's just a good short to have. And if somebody's like, that game looks interesting, let me check out the different videos, right? So that's why that's actually an amazing example of something that is so simple that I, for example, like Paz said, it's just so natural to me that I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, like there's been some shorts where I made that I clipped from live streams where it's like it's literally 20 seconds of me shooting at an Atlas, it like running around the overworld. I'm just like, well, I would never put this into a normal video because like it just doesn't make sense. But like somebody who's flipping through YouTube Shorts is gonna see that and exactly they're gonna be like, well, this looks pretty cool. Like just the colors, the graphics, like, oh, I want to go jump into his channel and look for more. And I do get subscribers from my shorts too. Like if I put out a good short that, you know, gets, I don't know, even 500 to 1,000 viewers, which is like good, not great. I might get 1 or 2 new subscribers from that short. And I'm just like, well, that's good. It's somebody who's probably seeing this for the first time and then hopping over to my other videos and then liking what they see and then subscribing.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's also not that hard to make those kind of shorts, right? Like if I compare this for myself, making a somewhat well thought out YouTube video that's a somewhat well thought out guide and somewhat decently constructed, there goes a decent amount of time thinking about it and recording it. And I use an editor and thumbnail designer, right? So I send it to my editor and thumbnail designer, and I have to still put some ideas of like, this is how I want to have the thumbnail look. And then I get it back, and I'm like supposed to have to, I don't know, think of like a title, write a description, click through some things. That's a lot more time investment than, here's like a short recording, send it to the editor, get it back, ChatGPT, some clickbait title, let's go. Like that short cost me, I don't know, 10 minutes, like on a long thing where I think of an idea and maybe I have to more than one take recording it. The video is going to take me like an hour to 2 still, even though I outsource so much. And like I can just like do a bunch of shorts. It's very, very easy.
Yeah. I've definitely been embracing the shorts, and I'll pull shorts out of everything I do. So I'll pull shorts out of, you know, GameFly rundown episodes, out of the normal videos I make, and out of the live streams I make. I'll just pull shorts from all of those. I try to have at least like one short out every day, so there's always like a piece of content out there. But yeah, the shorts they're so much easier to make. Yeah, and I don't know why people aren't taking more advantage of them.
Yeah, I'm glad that Terran pushed a lot in the early days for like the short contest that we had and stuff like this, and really pushed us to get more into it because it's a great way of doing a quick piece of content. But the reason why I think we say it's quick and easy is because we are long form content creators or streamers, and for us, short is a nice side thing, and there is the other side of shorts where they take hours and days of planning and weeks, and they're like on point, perfect, like everything is thought out and very high production value.
I keep telling myself I want to try that. I'm like, I just want to put a ton of effort into one short and see what happens. But then if I still end up with 650 views, I'm gonna be like, that was not worth it.
Yeah, and then it's hard to go back to it too, because I did that once or maybe a few times where, for example, the TikTok challenge, I put like a full week of editing, filming, and everything in, and I won the challenge. I got $1,000. That was amazing. But then the next day, you just do some clip from your stream with like overlay. It feels like the people that you attract with this quality of short, they are short viewers and they would like more of that. And then if you it's kind of it's hard to jump around in production value, I think. But at one point, if everything else blows up and you know this short is going to get 10,000 views, then you might as well try to make everyone at least at a certain level of production value and quality.
I think that's a hard part for me because I don't watch YouTube. I don't watch YouTube Shorts especially, or any kind of like short content. I don't watch Instagram or TikTok. I don't use any of that. So I'm not my own target audience. I cannot really relate to my own target audience because I don't use those products. And so I think it's sometimes it's like hard for me to understand. Like, I could not imagine I could not imagine swiping through. Oh, this is like a well-edited 60-second video. The next. I'm like, whatever. On YouTube videos, if they're informative, that's interesting to me. If I want to know something about a game, I try to look that up, find someone that makes a well-edited, well-informative video. I'm happy to watch that. But I guess that's also part of like my way of taking this. Like some different, like some very successful content creator recently DM'd me and was like, I like your stuff, but I don't know, some like ideas or tips. I was like friendly about, right, and talked to him and I was like, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, with like make it like more shorter or clickbaity or like whatever, this kind of stuff. But that's not stuff that I would want to watch myself. So it's the example that I made earlier with the screwdriver, right? Like people want to have, like the majority of people, especially on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and so on, like give them this screwdriver will work every time. But in a video game, I cannot be like, yeah, just buy this item every time. No, there's like this item for this situation, then the next one for that, and so on and so on. It's like situational. But giving that answer with like, just do this every time, that's honestly going to be good for what, like 90% of people in the game, because they have no clue what they're doing anyways. And if you give them something that's 50% of the time correct, then, well, before they were 10% of the time correct, now at least they're 50% of the time correct. So it's still going to be beneficial for them, but it wouldn't be to the standard or quality that I myself would want to watch and consume. So I just don't want to do it, which that's like a very, in that sense, like a stupid thing to do for just growing own channels and such. But I don't know, maybe it's like I want to do stuff that I would consume myself, basically.
Yeah, it sounds more sustainable to make a full circle, because then you're more true to your own self and your brand, and you can, like, it comes across more authentic instead of, I guess you can find some like compromises that you can go a little bit more into YouTube meta without losing the style of content that you have. But
yeah,
I think it's a good idea.
You can do like, you can make like, well, if you don't want to think about it, just do this every time. But all the people that actually want to think about it, here's the real answer. But then you also make a bunch of people just tune out of the video at that moment. So
yeah, I wanted to clear up the earlier when I said the TikTok channel, the TikTok challenge with the one short video that I edited 1 week on. One problem was, for example, it was the best short that was submitted by far, I think, because I just put in the work, right? One thing, but that's another topic. I had so high expectations to win that when I won, it was just like, yes, it did as it did. I wasn't even like super stoked about it because I pushed my expectation, but that's another thing, how to stay mentally happy with uploads and everything. But I uploaded it and it got like 20 views on TikTok, 500 views on X, and 200 views on YouTube, and is low performing than my 16 clips that I cut out from one stream and just with AI do the caption, and that's it. Yeah. And you cannot, like, right now we're so capped with illuvium, and that's something for later if you really want to put in the time.
And that's why I haven't put in a lot of time on those shorts, because like you said, I've had some just clips from podcast episodes and just streams that I've put up that have done, pretty well. And then I've put more effort into other ones and I'm just like, that didn't do well at all. So it's like, I might as well just do what's most time efficient and see what works rather than putting in all this effort for it to not work right now.
Quantity
maybe that'll
or quality.
Change in the future, but for right now, that's how it is.
Yeah, 100%. And also I think it's also better if you want to stay, for example, if you connect it to streaming, if your clips are kind of like stream, like a clip out of the stream, because otherwise it's easy to split your audience between short and long form viewers, where they get the same notification. So if you upload long form and you get a lot of subscriber from your super edited short style thing, they're going to swipe it away, and only one half is going to watch this and one half is going to watch that, and that kills your channel overall too, I think.
But aren't you like supposed to uncheck that shorts are sent to your subscribers to just attract new people instead of having like a bunch of like air quotes dead followers being sent a video that they don't even click on?
That makes sense. I haven't unchecked that yet. I should do that right away if that's an option.
Yeah, I didn't know you could even do that.
Yeah, but the other way it doesn't work. So your short viewers are always gonna get the same notification as the long form viewers.
No, I think you can just uncheck it for shorts specifically. That like the shorts are not sent to your subscribers, but just like to like you live YouTube channels that the algorithm thinks like somebody might be interested in this.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, same. There's so much going on in the YouTube meta and the social media meta. Like you can watch 1,000 videos and you still don't have the one screwdriver that fits them all. But in YouTube, it feels more like a trial and error, and then just it comes over time. I think it's a profession on its own.
Yep.
No, it is. I mean, there are consultants for those things, right? There are media agencies that specialize in, well, let's figure out the current algorithm that YouTube is currently using for this kind of stuff that you're doing.
Yeah,
so
100%.
It's a pretty tough market, because it's just a good way to get products to customers, right?
But to pat ourselves on the shoulder, I think we're all three doing very well, and have, like, it's funny when you look at a video from a year ago and you're cringing or whatever, and you know you can do so much better already. So growth and constant growth, I think that's really cool. And we can always look back at the old YouTube videos, see them, maybe unlist them if they're too wild.
Everyone who stuck around through this bear market and just continued to work at it and put out illuvium content, like, I think, we've all improved a ton, and I think we're all setting ourselves up for what's to come, hopefully in the next 6 months.
Hell yeah.
It'll be exciting times.
Let's get rid of that student loan for you. Otherwise, we do a GoFundMe in the next bear market.
That's if we get anything in this bull market like we got last bull market, I'll be good.
Sweet.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Let's hope for that. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. That was our podcast with Nick. Thank you, Nick, for joining. That was an amazing talk. Really cool topics.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. In the first half of this video, we talked a lot about like the fitness and health and stuff like that. Like that, I'm still super into that. So if you want to like slide into my DMs or leave some comment somewhere about that, feel free to let me know. I'll answer any questions I can.
That's awesome. I really like that too, because like Viper said, health is wealth, and all the rich people realize that once they're rich, they're like, shit, I should get back to that health. So maybe let's do a health podcast. We'll see.
Hey, we could.
Yeah, slide into Night Chef's DMs. That's really nice. You offer that.
Yeah.
Sweet. And we're gonna see you back next week with another guest, probably. And check out Night Chef's Nick's podcast. It's called
GameFi Rundown. Yeah, GameFi Rundown every other week. So once every 2 weeks, I put that out. And then just like I was saying before, I have regular videos. I put out 1 or 2 of those per week. Shorts I try to do every day, as much as I can on X. Just in that grind like you guys are.
That's it. If you like Nick like we do, there is content for you to consume from all of us. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
Yeah. Peace. All right. Thanks for having me, guys. See you. Peace.